this one is a little bit different. It's not fishing in it. It is something of a celebration of what we've had this last summer. Now, we haven't had, I don't think, the greatest summer. Got a nice little spell going through at the moment as I make this film. But I thought I'd put these bits and pieces together. Now, if you don't take the trouble to, when you're filming, do it there and then when you see it visually, it might not happen again. And the very exact thing happened to me. I happened to be walking upstairs, looked out the window. Oh my God, finally, they're cutting the outside fields. It's a mark that autumn might be on its way, and I find it a really satisfying time of year. Check it out. Well, we've been asking ourselves when the farmland opposite would actually get picked up, because they cut the grass. I guess they didn't have it as hay or haylage. As you can see over there, it's all been cut. They've got this machine that sort of dries it all out, tosses it all over, and I'm figuring they're watching what the weather's doing. And he's going around in a big circuit. He's just on one circuit, and one of the machines is leaving that big ridge along there, and then the other machine comes along and must crush it all, pick it all up and crush it and put it in big bales. And I have seen the kites out, because obviously once you disturb all that grass, then anything like mice, shrews, whatever lives in there, gonna get disturbed, and the old predators will be on top. And what happens is they go round and line it all up in these long tubes of straw, I guess. No, it's not straw. What is it, Graeme? Hay. Might be, what's the other one they do? Silage, where they cover it over with plastic. But he's not come around yet. Just nice to see. It's a sort of marking the end of a season almost, really, isn't it? I'm always getting up and down on my boat, messing around, even if I'm not using it, because it's right outside the house. Sooner or later, it had to happen. And yes, I've cracked the mudguard. But don't worry, Mike had some sheet metal left over, and I thought just the job for a quick repair. some big teeth on that. That's my sort of Hawaiian style bear skinning knife. I remember making that, I enjoyed making that. Now I put out the GoPro on some dead mice I got in traps, because I don't want them chewing their way through my fishing tackle or my electric cables and burning the house down. So when I got them in the trap, I put them out on the lawn. I thought, I wonder, I've seen Colin swoop down. Well, the first birds on the scene are normally the carrion crows. They're quite aggressive as well, they take some chasing off. They came down, but as they came down, you see Colin and young Colin, his buddy, swooping like Batman and Robin. And I can't quite freeze frame it, but I can see it when I do it in single frame on the camera. Just like the screaming eagle of the American flag. Talons came out like this. Bosh! He picked the mouse up. And do you know what? The crafty old crow, once they both gone through, he came in, looked at the other mouse that was left, and nabbed that one as well. There you go, almost a model of Colin as he came down to swoop on that mouse. Don't even know where I got those from. Anyway, I thought, I've done the harvest, what about all the flowers? Because it's not been a great summer here in the UK. We've had a couple of good spells. At the present time it is quite good. But we've got to enjoy it where we can. Uncle Brian, as we called him, is now passed. It was actually the wise uncle who used to say, don't forget to smell the roses as you walk down, travel down the garden. He's not wrong. We all rush, we're all in a rush, we're all to do stuff, and we're not really taking notice of the most important things in life, really, are we? I think COVID has accentuated it for a lot of people. Something out there has definitely changed. So let's just show you some of the flowers I got, some of the shots I got, hopefully a bit of relaxation for you, and see where we go from there. Enjoy it. Now those do look pretty big. That's what you call real predator's teeth. Anyway, close out just something a bit different for you. When I was at the Bushcraft show helping Mike out, I met Joshua up there who did some fire lighting. He's going to be showing you how to light a fire using a bow drill, and he makes it look frighteningly easy. It's not. So guys, I've tracked down here Joshua, who tells me there's no trouble starting fires from nothing. Let's check it out.
What I like to do on this particular type of fibre friction is just to actually rough up the surface of our drill. So this is actually the surface that's going to be contacting into the half board, spinning around using the aid of a bow to create as much friction as possible.
Is there different types of wood you need? You know,
Yes.
which wood is the best for this, hard or soft? Or?
So you generally want a soft wood. If you're going for a hard wood, then what's going to happen is it's going to polish, and what you want is something that's actually going to break down and create dust, because that dust, while we're breaking it down with all that friction and the heat, is actually going to create our ember from which we can transfer into our tinder bundle. So I've got a notch already cut in here. You can see how that spindle there just fits into the divot.
If you were starting from basics, you'd make some sort of a hole for it with your knife tip. I
Yeah,
guess,
so
would
you would take your knife and you would
work a hole, yeah.
work a hole like that. You'd take the drill in, you'd bore a hole, and then you'd cut your notch. This notch is quite important as well. This notch has to be 1/8 of the actual circle.
Ah.
If it's larger, it tends to fall out and spin all over the place. But if it's too small, it doesn't actually gather enough dust in that divot to create a substantial ember. Anyway, let's get on to it. So, bow drill really is man's oldest piece of machinery, and probably one of the most essential to our evolution. So by machinery I mean that this is made of multiple moving parts. We have the bow, we have the spindle, we have the bearing block which applies pressure and allows the spindle to spin freely. And then the next thing we need is our body position and technique to be spot on in order to achieve this skill. So what I want to do is I want to basically lock my supporting arm that's holding my bearing block around my shin here, so it's contacting there. So that way, when I'm actually bowing like this, it's not going anywhere, it's not spinning out and moving all over the place. Another thing is I want my body weight over the top of the spindle so I can apply the maximum amount of pressure to it as I can. My back leg is kinked out at a slight angle so that I have stability. And I've got my tinder bundle and my knife and all the things I might need ready if I should need them in a second. So we'll just start this slowly. Can you hear that?
Yep.
So right, that's the squeak. Do you know what that tells me?
No.
Not enough pressure.
I got it, yeah.
The weird thing about bow drill is if it sounds bad, it's probably not going very well. And when it sounds good, it's probably going quite well. So we'll adapt that and add a bit more pressure.
Oh, smoke already.
I want to keep my bow parallel to the ground and just keep applying pressure and speed.
How do you know when you've sort of got an ember there?
You can just sort of see by the colour of the dust, it's nice and dark, and also just the amount of smoke. So in that notch we just collected all that dust.
So it's important to put that little piece of wood underneath to stop it falling on the grass,
Yeah,
otherwise
exactly.
you defeated the object.
Exactly, and then we can't transfer it into our tinder bundle.
Yeah.
So
I'm calling that a transfer tongue.
yeah. So now that we've got that, we can actually increase the size of that ember just by sprinkling a little bit of dust on there. A little bit in the tinder bundle. It's a bit like baking a cake. So chill for a minute, let that ember grow. We don't want to blow on it, but we want to give it oxygen. So a little bit of fanning or just the wind. If it's just not too windy like today, it's not so breezy, so I wouldn't have to shelter it But we just let that grow until it's going.
So no panic really is the thing.
No panic, just gather your breath, chill out for a minute, keep an eye on it because it's quite a precious little thing right now. Kind of think of it as like a bird's egg, and we've just made a bird's nest. So this precious little egg, our ember, we're going to be setting that into the nest and then lighting it into a fire. So I reckon he's about ready now. Just very carefully, not getting caught on that grass. You can see he's starting to glow. Set him down into there. Right. Then I want to give him oxygen, so I'm folding that over carefully. And I'm blowing upwards, and as I'm exhaling, I'm moving the bundle down. This way I can ensure that there's continual airflow going through the bundle. See the smoke change colour? That means we've got fire.
Oh wow, so do I.
Boom.
And another important thing, I guess, a supply of dry tinder.
So what I would say with this is if you were to build a fire straight onto this, what tends to happen is the actual heat from this snuffs out all the oxygen. So it's much better to actually use this as your match. Get some fire sticks on there, light them off of that, and then take them over to a separate location to light your fire rather than just building onto there.
Yeah, and just swamping it.
Yeah, exactly, because it just snuffs out all the oxygen. It's like trying to kind of light a bonfire from the off. It's just never going to go particularly well unless you've got some kind of flammable material like petrol or something naughty.
Something naughty. Appreciate that, Joshua. That was really good.
Nice one.
Yeah, made it look easy, and I know for a fact it probably is not.
I mean, this is what we try and do, is to make it look easy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
The art of trying to talk while you're out of breath, but it's all part of the fun, isn't it?
It's good. Yeah, yeah.
Nice one. No,
Brilliant.
cheers.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Spot on. Cheers.
So thanks to Joshua from Avalon for showing us how he did the fire drill. Next time there's going to be a fishing film. I just thought this would be something different for you, something to watch. If you want to watch it, great. If you don't want to watch it, delete, hit the blank button, do what you want. It's there, it's free. Guys, we'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, subscribe button, TA Fishing, TA Outdoors, and notification bell. And why not try hitting the like button? We'll see you next time.